A Waqf fund would basically be a separate legal entity to which the shareholders would initially make a donation to establish the Waqf fund. The donation can be of any reasonable amount. Sharia board may specify such amount. The objective of the Waqf fund would be to provide relief to participants against defined losses as per the rule of the Waqf fund. In this modified Wakala Waqf model, the relationship of the participants and of the operator is directly with the Waqf fund. The operator is the Wakil of the Waqf fund and the participants pay one-sided donation to the Waqf fund, which is not conditional, which also eliminates the issue of gharar. The Waqf fund rules may define the sharing of surplus and other rules under which it would operate, but there is no obligation to distribute surplus. Further, the qarz would be given by the shareholders to the Waqf entity and not to individuals as in typical Wakala model. The challenges ahead. Despite a remarkable breakthrough and a dynamic and sustained growth, there are challenges facing the Takaful industry. First, the existence of three business models, Muzarba model, Wakala model and Wakala with Waqf model, could create an uneven, unfair business environment to operate. Need to reach a consensus internationally on a common and standard Takaful business model. So availability of different models create this confusion and people say which model is correct and which one is not correct. So as we can see that this is an evolutionary process, and when some objections are raised, the scholars try to provide a solution to those objections and try to bring improvements in the previously existing model. But still this improvement is not stopped. Still people have some concerns regarding Waqf model and other models, and improvement can come further, but this is the way things improve and betterment comes in the practices. Future outlook. Despite the remarkable growth rate recorded by the Takaful industry, penetration is still far below the enormous market potential offered by the Muslim community worldwide. It is around 23% of the total world population. But Takaful industry may be less than 1% of the total insurance industry at global level. World Muslim population is estimated at 1.5 billion, of which around 97% are based in Asia and Africa. A two-digit growth in the range of 15% to 20% can be reasonably sustained for at least the next 10 years in the existing markets. In new Takaful frontiers, markets like Europe, North and Latin America, Central Asia, Australia, where large Muslim communities live, are huge untapped reservoirs. The recent opening towards Islamic windows in the banking sector in Europe is likely to be followed by Takaful window initiatives. Takaful products to non-Muslims. Takaful products are not exclusive to Muslims only. Competitively priced and sold through the right channel, it could attract any consumer irrespective of their origin or faith. And already we know that non-Muslims are purchasing in Takaful policies in Malaysia, and in Sri Lanka their policy holder, 30% of their policy holders are non-Muslims. Conclusions. Despite the challenges facing this new industry, exciting times are ahead. Once the latent potential is unleashed, the success of Takaful largely depends on that of Islamic financial institutions on a global basis. Thank you. So, floor is open now for question and answer.
comprehensive presentation on a very important topic. You have very clearly drawn lines of distinction between conventional and Islamic insurance, and you have also provided us with a good understanding of the entire gamut of Takaful models. You have covered the challenges, emerging trends, and also the future outlook. I'm sure there are many questions from the participants, and if I may suggest an order for raising their questions, perhaps based on the participation or the attendance. We would first invite Imam Sadiq University, Tehran, to raise their questions, followed by Durham University, followed by Markfield Institute of Higher Education, and then Imam Azhar University and Kuwait University. Can we have questions from Imam Sadiq University first?
No, you don't have any question. The lecture is very clear.
Okay. Okay, can we
thank you for the
now invite Kuwait University to raise their questions?
We have some questions.
Okay, please.
Not possible.
Questions from Durham University?
Yes.
I have one question. Thank you for the lecture. I'd like to comment on the WAP model for the Takaful. As I understood, in a WAP concept is that the principal should not be distributed. That means the corpus of the capital cannot be distributed to the beneficiaries. That is the WAP model. In this case, in the model for the Takaful, how then will it apply when somebody, you entered into an insurance contract, and at the end of the let's say the insurance maturity of the benefit, you should be given the principal plus the benefit. But in a Wakaf model, how does that work? Since in a WAF, the corpus should not be touched. It's just the income stream or the usufruct that should be distributed. So this is my questions. Thank you.
You have a question? I have another question. Thank you for the interesting lecture. The first question I have is, again, the WAF model. You said that WAF is a legal entity. I know there are some discussions around it. I just wanted to you to clarify in which ways the WAF is a legal entity. Like when we talk about a legal entity, we're talking about limited liability, and you mentioned that the WAF had right to write contracts, but the legal entity has some other implications, and I would like to know what are the other implications regarding WAF as a legal entity. The second question is regarding the income stream. One is for the company, insurance company, or the company's income you mentioned was a wakala fee for managing the WAF fund, and the second was the mudaraba profit share. So again, we have the same problem as the wakala model, where whether this is a wakala contract with the company or whether it's a mudaraba contract or it is both. And if it is both, how does it work in terms of fiqh concepts? Thank you.
So, should I respond to this question first?
Yes, brother, go ahead, please.
Thank you. Okay, so regarding first question, that in principle, corpus of the Waqf property should not be distributed and should not be sold. Yes, this principle is taken care in Waqf model. The initial amount donated as Waqf, that is not distributed as compensation, but it can be invested only in very safe investment opportunities, but this amount will remain there. Other amount given as donation to this Waqf fund is considered as something owned by Waqf fund but not as Waqf, and that amount can be given as compensation to those members facing some specific loss. But initial investment to create Waqf will remain intact and it will not be given. The other question regarding the nature of legal nature of the Waqf. As I know that Waqf is legal entity in the sense that it can enter into contracts. Properties can be purchased in the name of Waqf, and but there is no concept of limited liability with this legal entity like the company in modern sense. So this is legal entity only in the capacity that it can enter into contracts, it can purchase things and can sell things, and it can be sued, and Waqf can sue someone else. So this is the nature of Waqf in Islamic Sharia. Another was that sources of income in a Waqf model, that income is coming from two sources, one as wakala fee and other is profit through muzarba. So in this model it is said that company is entitled to receive wakala fee for managing all takaful related activities, which may include preparing the contracts, marketing this business, and making all accounts and providing compensation, etc. But investment of the funds available with the Waqf fund is a separate activity. This is not a part of the Takaful business. So if Waqf enters into a separate muzarba contract with the Takaful company for the investment of these funds, then company will receive a share as muzarib from the profit generated through this investment. And scholars have allowed this, that wakil can be muzarib also in the same time. Means these two separate entities in the one person is permissible. So this is my response to the questions. I hope you will get.
Any more question from the room?
No, we don't have any other questions.
Thank you. May I request Imam Azhar University if you have any questions?
No, thank you. There's no questions.
Markfield, do you have any questions?
No, thank you. No, there is no questions.
Thank you, sister. My question is to Markfield Institute, UK. Do you have any questions?
Yes, I have one question. I can see that in terms of the legal and regulatory framework, Takaful industry is pretty advanced. So my question is, because if we compare with Islamic banking and finance industry, as well as capital market, Islamic capital market is very lagging behind. So my question is, what contribute to the growth of the legal and regulatory framework in this Islamic finance, in this Takaful industry?
Any more questions from Markfield?